Hey everyone, and welcome to MultiverseMedia, the channel that talks all things geek culture. I'm Asher Friedberg, and today we are going to be talking about who exactly this newly revealed Kid Loki is, and what is he up to. Before we jump in, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share to help our channel grow. In today's episode of Loki, a mid-credit scene teased 4 new versions of Loki. After Loki was pruned by Ravonna Renslayer, he reappeared on an alternate version of Earth, specifically New York City, as we can see in the background. After he respawned, he was greeted by 4 new versions of himself. First, we see what looks to be a version of Loki who took on the mantle of Thor, but I'm not super confident on that one. The second appears to be a classic version of Loki, played by Richard E. Grant. Also, side note, loving these retro costumes the MCU has been doing lately. The third appears to be a version of Loki that's a crocodile, and holding him, our focus of the video, appears to be Kid Loki. If you don't know who Kid Loki is, I'll give a quick breakdown. Kid Loki is a younger version of Loki who learns of his future self's evil deeds and vows to be a better Loki than he had seen himself become. Relatively recently, he has joined the Young Avengers in the comics. This version of Kid Loki appears to have a different origin story, but my theory makes me think he's set to go on the same path as his comic book counterpart. Let's talk about it. My theory is that Kid Loki, along with his other Lokis, are variants, pruned by the Time Variance Authority. My guess is that pruning doesn't kill the target, but sends them to apocalypses so they can no longer affect the sacred timeline. I think that this apocalypse they are in might be a world where Loki actually defeated the Avengers back in 2012 and took over New York City, if not Earth in its entirety. Kid Loki, being a variant, likely stood trial for his crimes, was found guilty, and pruned. From there, Kid Loki was forced to live in a world of his own future self's making. Kid Loki might have learned some form of compassion, being on the other side of his schemes. He's essentially a victim to himself in this timeline, being the version of Loki who defeated the Avengers. Given that the Avengers Tower still looks like the 2012 version, opposed to the 2015 or newer versions, I think this year is 2012. I believe that Kid Loki, who has spent his life in an apocalypse of his own making, wants to attempt to make a change for the better. He has seen what his aspirations lead to, and might want to be a better person. We know Lokis are capable of being good, and I imagine a younger Loki would be even easier to change. Maybe after Kid Loki teams up with Loki, Sylvie, and Mobius, Kid Loki ends up back in the sacred timeline, and from there, tries to be a hero. Maybe he'll even join the Young Avengers, a project I think Marvel is cooking up. Having Kid Loki join the sacred timeline would work nicely, as this would allow for Thor to reconnect with his brother, and allow for a new version of Loki to be featured. I hope that Loki and Sylvie end up back in the sacred timeline, but I'm not quite as confident about their chances at the moment. Anyway, that's my theory on who Kid Loki is and what his future holds. What are your thoughts on this theory? Do you think that Kid Loki has seen the error of his future self's ways? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all for watching, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share, and also be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you all again, and I'll see you all next time.